right, we are live. This is a live event. Anything can happen, and hopefully you can hear me. Just hang in there. We'll get started here in just a minute or two.
No, the 1480 bus.
1480 bus.
Walking over 1028.
Big brother trying to mess with my head. He whispers sweet nothing, things better left unsaid. We got our ears to the ground, our eyes wide open and keen. No gaslight, shadows gonna dim our screen.
You're watching Sleuth Intuition Live, hosted by Patrick Vallejos. He is here with the Sleuth crew. Here's Sleuth.
Sometimes I wonder who's to blame. Sometimes I feel like maybe we should blame these parents who let their kids just kind of walk around and do whatever they want. What do you guys think? You think it's okay for parents just to say, yeah, go ahead and go door to door and see if all the neighbor kids, if they want to come out and play? Because when I was a kid, you know what? As soon as I woke up on the days that we had off, jumped on my bike, my mom would yell out, be home before the street lights are on. I would jump on my bike and I would go look for my friends. And usually I could tell where everybody was because there was a pile of bikes in the front yard. And it was never a nice, neat pile because as kids, we really didn't give a shit. As soon as we got to our location, we just we were just ghost riding the bike into the bushes, into the yard. And when we left, jumped on it and did the same thing whenever we got to wherever it was we were going. I remember as a kid, a couple of, times, I think I may have come in contact with attempted kidnappers, experienced a possible kidnapping. What's up, Steffa? So, it's hard to say. Your first instinct is you want to blame them, right? Hindsight is 2020. But what about the other side of that coin? The sadistic psychopath, the opportunistic killer, who for whatever reason comes in contact with this kid that's been allowed to simply just go around the corner, because that's all it takes, right? You can be a perfect parent most of the time, but you can't be a perfect parent all of the time. So that one day that you accidentally up or maybe spend too much time talking to the cashier when your rambunctious 4-year-old decides to turn around and just decides to walk off and around a corner. Well, if your child decides to do that at your 1 week moment, and at that very moment, there's a sadistic individual, opportunistic type predator, that's all it takes. He can grab that kid and take him around another corner. By the time you look to your left and look to your right and go check around the corner that he must be behind, right? Oh, he's not here, not on my right, not to my left, not behind me. Oh, he's right around the corner. It's too late. So perfect parents can't be perfect all of the time. So we're going to talk about that in today's live stream, along with the sadistic killers, these opportunistic killers that make up the other half of that equation. So we're going to start today with a few pretty dark news stories, but interesting. Sleuth Crew News is basically covering stories that you most likely haven't heard of. right? That are very disturbing and high profile worthy, but something that I think that you may not have seen. So we're going to start with that. Also, we are going to highlight the Michael Vaughan case, Michael Monkey Vaughan. He's still missing. I would like the help of the sleuth crew to do kind of like a geo profile. We'll look at the suspects, we'll look at the case summary, and see if we can put together something. You know, try to figure out where they might be hiding him, where they may have, placed his body if he is deceased. I believe their intentions were to sell Michael. Did they? Was he sold on the black market? So we will be highlighting that case through the entire live stream. The phone line is open. So if you want to call in about anything and say anything, 928-476-0112. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. Welcome in, Hydro Quebec. Hello. All right. Well, let's check out some of this news that I have lined up for you guys.
Breaking crime news.
Oh, yeah. Let's start with Marquise Utse. Right. Massapequa man indicted in child assault case. Extremely disturbing. Massapequa, New York, a 34-year-old man identified as Marquise Utse has been indicted on multiple felony charges, including rape, sexual abuse, robbery, and endangering the welfare of a child after an alleged assault on a 12-year-old boy, Suffolk County prosecutors confirmed. Prosecutors say Utse connected with the victim through a social networking and dating app before visiting the child's home on December 6th while the boy was alone. According to law enforcement, Utse allegedly raped the boy and then demanded money from him before leaving. The child later reported the incident to his parents, who called police, leading to Utse's arrest. Utse was arraigned on December 23rd in Suffolk County Court and faces 2 counts of first-degree rape, 2 counts of first-degree sexual abuse, 1 count of third-degree robbery, 1 count of endangering the welfare of a child. The judge ordered him held on $1.5 million bond while the case is pending. Prosecutors say if convicted on the top count, Utse could face up to 25 years in prison. He is next scheduled to appear in court on February 3rd, 2026. Okay, how many of you out there think that he has a prior record? Show of hands. Go ahead and let me know in the chat if you think he has a prior record. Yeah, perfect babysitter. Yikes, imagine. He would love that. Some predators, they're able to compartmentalize enough to get into that position. And as soon as they have that privacy, then they kind of attack their victims. Sometimes they make it out alive, sometimes they don't. CJK is in the building. What's up? We got support with Hydro, CJK. Good to see you guys. So what do you think about Mr. Utse here? Do you think he has any prior charges? Do you think he has a criminal record? Just take a guess. Well, as soon as I saw that it was in New York, I said, you know what, this might not be a big case or a big news, anything to really report on, on my channel. But the fact that it was New York, I was like, you know what, something tells me that this guy has priors because they're really soft on crime out there. So this report is from 2018. Check it out.
And spent Thanksgiving holiday behind bars after police say he forced a man to drive him to a gas station and allegedly tried to rob him. Greenville police responded to the Speedway gas station at around 6 p.m. Thursday in reference to a strong-armed robbery. Police say a man told them he was in his car at the Sheets on Fire Tower Road when the suspect, 27-year-old Marquise Yutzi, got into the man's car and he implied he had a gun. Police say the victim tells them he was then forced to drive to the Speedway where Yutzi wanted him to withdraw cash. The victim was able to alert cashiers at the gas station, who then called police. Yutzi is facing second-degree kidnapping charges as well as common law robbery.
Right. Think about the unsolved murders that they have around that area. I guarantee this guy's responsible for something like that. So in 2018, he's basically carjacking a guy, forcing him out to drive to certain locations and try to get money out, right? And then in 2025, he's catfishing young boys. He basically did what Anthony Shots during the ski mask incident. He met this young boy on a dating website, got his address, got the information that he was home alone, and then broke into the home and sexually assaulted the kid and robbed him. That's basically what this Anthony Shots person was trying to do during the ski mask incident. And what happens to a lot of young kids who end up missing, right? A lot of times they might be using these dating apps and parents don't even know. Okay, so that's 2018. Check this out. (2014). Man arrested for robbing guys he met through a gay dating site. Nassau County Police have arrested a man that was allegedly robbing guys he met through a gay dating website. According to police, nabbed Marquise J. Utsi, a 22-year-old who went by the name Huge 12. Yikes. And arranged meetups on Adam for Adam. Mr. Utse was arrested last night after reportedly offering to perform a sex act on an undercover officer in exchange for money. He was linked to 3 incidents that occurred in late December and early January on Long Island. On December 29th, Mr. Utse got into a car with a 23-year-old man and threatened the victim with a gun after robbing him. He then fled the scene. A few days later, police say Mr. Utse met up with the guy in another car and began arguing. That fight led to Mr. Utse stealing the victim's phone and fleeing the scene. The third incident occurred on January 3rd when Mr. Utse took out a small knife and stole cash from a man in a car. Jeez. Yeah, you're not safe in New York. I just want to say that now. So maybe we would be, maybe kids would be safe just walking around, going around the corner, knocking on all the neighbors' door. Hey, can such and such come out and play? Oh, no, not today. They need to clean their room. Okay, well, I'll go check and see if Timmy can come out and play or whatever. And then while he's kind of walking around the neighborhood, just happens to run into fucking Marquise Utse. I think that's what I'm trying to convey. I want parents to know that these types of people exist. Right? And they're not just weird monsters that kind of creep out of the woods at night when everybody's asleep. Like, they're people that are living with you. They're people that are working with you, your babysitters, your neighbor that's a cop. It's crazy. Let's go to Stefa. These predators cannot be rehabilitated. The predators will tell you that themselves that have been through therapy. Yeah, some of them that kind of have come out and just admitted it. It's kind of part of their rehabilitation, part of their punishment. Um, just reintegrating into society. So they come out and they kind of tell all their tactics, who they target, why they target them, um, what are some of their methods, after they target an individual. I find it extremely helpful as a parent. And remember, boys aren't safe either, guys. I don't want you to, all you parents of boys, oh, I'm glad I have a boy. Like, they're not safe. And it's not always men that are predators. Women are predators too. You have to protect your children. Women hide very well. They try to talk about men like we're these disgusting pigs. But they just use that. If they are a predator themselves, they just use that, right, as camouflage, like any predator would. Why wouldn't they, right? It's to their benefit. But women predators are definitely able to hide, I think, a little bit easier than men. I was afraid of these men, dads, etc. I didn't know I had to protect my daughter from another girl my daughter's age. There you go. Exactly. Be aware of other children. Watch your kids, no matter who they are with. Yeah, so I'm always very leery of women that are like very anti-men and this and that, because usually if you're hiding something, you'll overcompensate, right? Maybe if I'm overly nice, they won't know that I'm a monster. There you go, Hydro. Yeah, be cautious. And a lot of time when boys are victimized, it really goes unreported, especially if it's a boy being abused by a girl, right? That would be very confusing. Eli, what's up? Good to see you. CJ Kate, welcome in. Aquarian One, what's going on? So, what do you guys think about that story? And how many of you knew right away that he had prior charges? Think about it. In 2014, he did those 3 crimes back to back, all violent crimes. Each one should have been a 10-year sentence. But instead, he's out in 2018 to do a carjacking and a kidnapping and a robbery, only to come back in 2025 recently and catfish a 12-year-old boy and sexually assault him after finding out he's home alone. Like, that boy's lucky to be alive. Remember, most murders aren't planned with these types. They murder their victims because they don't want to get caught. So if he would have killed that young boy, if he's ever allowed to go free, it's kind of like the evolution of a killer. I call it the Michael Klunder effect, right? Michael Klunder, the number 1 suspect in the Evansdale case. He started out by, fantasizing about murder first. That's where it always starts. And then attacking like a grown woman. Well, this grown woman was able to kind of fight him off and gave him too much trouble. So he ran away. He got charged for it, did a little bit of time in juvie, came out and said, okay, I can't attack a woman. I'm going to attack somebody more vulnerable. So he's evolving. In his next attempt, he steals 2 babies. I think they might have been 2 or 3 years old. He steals them and he's like, oh, well, wait a minute. I'm not sexually attracted to babies. So he's kind of like this idiot, you know what I mean? Like he just wants to kill, he wants to rape, he wants to torture, but he can't find out where he belongs, where he fits in. So he tries to attack a woman, that doesn't work out. It's like that's too tough. Goes out, it's kind of like the Goldilocks effect, really. And then he kidnaps these two kids. Well, he's like, well, I don't want to do anything with them. Now that I have them, it was easy to get them. They didn't fight back. So he didn't kill them. He just put them in a dumpster, right? Like they're trash. He still doesn't care, but he's not going to get a murder charge. He doesn't need to. He didn't do anything. So what's the next step up? Would be preteens or young teenage girls. So if this guy, and that's what Klunder did, he eventually moved on to 13 and 14-year-old girls, committed a murder, and took his own life, and may even be responsible for what happened to Lyric and Elizabeth in Evansdale. He's definitely the prime suspect. They're doing DNA testing right now. So, time will tell. But the point is, if they let this guy out, Marquise Utse, he's not going to leave a witness. He left that 12-year-old alive, and most people, their intentions are not to kill, but there's an evolution of a predator that eventually turns them into a killer, right? If he would have killed the young boy couldn't have told anybody what he did, how he met him. He would have been dead. So if they allow him to serve 5-10 years and he goes free, guess what he's going to do next time? He's not going to leave a witness. He's just going to kill him. And people like Richard Allen knew that on their fledgling attempt. So that is an interesting tale out of New York, Massapequa, right there by the Long Island serial killer murders. Okay, here's another very disturbing and sad case. Tara Marissa Gooding out of Hawaii. Let's take a look at what happened. Washington State Patrol trooper killed on SR 509. So this happened in Tacoma, Washington. A Washington State Patrol WSP trooper was killed in the line of duty on Friday evening, December 19th, 2025, while responding to a traffic crash on southbound State Route 509 near the Port of Tacoma Road. Trooper Tara Marissa Gooding, she was 29 years old, was standing outside her patrol vehicle investigating a two-vehicle collision on the southbound on ramp from Port of Tacoma Road to SR 509 just before 7:30 p.m. when she was struck by a passing vehicle. The initial impact left her incapacitated in the travel lane. Shortly afterward, a second vehicle, a dark-colored pickup truck, hit her and continued driving without stopping. Bystanders and responders attempted to render aid, but Trooper Gooding later died from her injuries. Okay, so let me show you guys why this case caught my attention. I really thought we could help locate the vehicle. But I think as of recently, they may have found it, but they're still asking for help. But let me put it up anyway. I'm pretty sure they've impounded it. So I think she was serving like a traffic stop or doing something on the shoulder, and a vehicle hit her and kind of forced her into the lane. And while she was in the middle of the highway, somebody ran her over. But I don't think they knew it. I think it's possible that they were just driving, ran her over, and then maybe looked in the rearview mirror and was like, What was that? I mean, I don't see any reason why they would purposefully do that. So originally they had released these photographs asking for help from the public to identify it, but I did pull an update on that. But real quick, who was Trooper Tara Marissa Gooding? Badge number 720, was a recent graduate of the Washington State Patrol. Let's put her image back up there. Of the Washington State Patrol, having begun her career after completing the WSP Trooper Basic Training Class in 2024. She was born on July 19th, 1996, and was originally from Honolulu, Hawaii. Her passing has deeply affected colleagues, family, and law enforcement around the world. So that's the vehicle they were looking for. And here is the update on that truck. So after the deadly crash on State Route 509 in Tacoma, Washington, authorities had been searching for a dark pickup truck described as possibly a Chevy Avalanche. And that's what I saw, was a Chevy Avalanche, right? You can kind of see it right here, how it angles into the tailgate. That reminds me definitely of an Avalanche, or I think there's also a Honda pickup truck that might do that as well, if I'm not mistaken. What's going on, Boston? Christian in the building. What was the guy's name that lived in Elizabeth's prime suspect? Michael Klunder. Eli. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to Sleuth Intuition Live. Shout out to the replay crew, too. We see you. Right now, we're just hitting Sleuth Crew News. Right? What the hell happened to this poor trooper in Tacoma, Washington? Man, 29 years old, taking on the world from Honolulu, only to be struck down in a traffic stop, hit by two cars. I mean, you're not going to survive that. You're lucky to survive the first hit. And then she was probably completely ran over by that. That's a big truck. That's a heavy truck. Man, it's a rough job. Described as possibly a Chevy Avalanche or Cadillac Escalade EXT style with tinted windows. The vehicle was believed to have struck Gooding after she was first hit by another car. Tacoma police have since located and impounded that vehicle of interest, and it's now in law enforcement custody and part of an ongoing investigation. Even though the truck has been found, investigators are still asking the public for any tips, dash cam footage, or information that may help identify the driver or clarify what happened. Man, that's sad. 29 years old, 1 year out of the academy. I wonder what happened exactly. All right. If anybody wants to call in about anything at all, phone lines are open, 928-476-0112. That's going to do it for the Sleuth Crew News. Let's go ahead and get into our highlighted case, Michael Monkey Vaughan. Okay, how many of you are familiar with this case? I'm somewhat new to the case, to be honest. So what I want to do today is I kind of want to go over, do a brief overview, kind of like a summary. Look at the location, the maps, look at the suspects, see where they might have decided to place a body if for whatever reason he is deceased, which is there's a good chance that he is. I believe their ultimate goal was to sell the child on the black market. To who, I'm not exactly sure, but he could be alive. Maybe they were successful. One of the main suspects said that they killed the boy, that he's deceased. He was buried in a backyard and possibly moved. Steffa says, pretty well versed in this case. All right, so I think we're going to start with a real quick overview. Let's put up a photo of Monkey. They still have not found him. Okay, Michael Joseph Monkey Vaughan, 5-year-old boy from Fruitland, Ohio. Here, let me pull up this map too. I think that might help. Kind of while I'm going over the case facts and the details, get a good look at the area. Okay, so the suspect's home is kind of up here in the corner of this neighborhood. Sorry, when I'm live streaming, for whatever reason, my Google's really slow to load up. Here, maybe we should do this. Okay. So I have this home here at 815 as recently viewed, but that's not Michael's home. I don't know if they still live there or not, but it's somewhere over here in this area to the right of what appears to be farmland. Now, somehow the boy was able to make his way from Arizona Avenue and 8th Street and into the custody of these sick fucks over here. Jerry, what's up? Says not familiar with this case. Yeah, this one's out of Idaho. Aquarian, where were the parents when he disappeared? So he was under the supervision of his father. I believe his mother was gone at the time. She may have been at work. We're going to verify that. But it was his father that was watching him. So the father, they had a newborn baby. The father kind of turned, went to give all his attention to the child, needed his attention, the newborn. And when he turned around, the young boy had already left, apparently through the garage and into the neighborhood. And later on, the parents kind of discovered that he was going door to door, kind of checking out with all the neighborhood kids, seeing if they could come out and play. So while he was doing that, his parents had no clue. They were looking for him, like, where the hell did he go? I mean, he's somehow, these guys see him going door to door. Opportunistic killers. And here they are. These are the 4 suspects right here. Stacy Wandra, Sarah Wandra, Brandon Hurtliff, and Adrian Lucian. Lucian's on the top left. And Brandon, he's on the bottom left. All right, so let's keep this map up a little bit here. Okay, Michael was last seen near his home in Fruitland in the early evening of July 27th, 2021. He had been playing outside and possibly visiting neighbors. Despite an extensive search by local police, FBI, K9 units, boats on nearby waterways, drones, and community volunteers, no confirmed trace of him was found at the time. Months after his disappearance, investigators received a credible tip leading them to excavate a backyard of a home nearby. Cadaver dogs indicated human remains, but none were recovered. Police believe Michael was abducted and later killed, with his body moved from the initial burial site. Here, let's put this image up. In 2022, Sarah Wandra, a neighbor, was arrested for failure to report a death in connection with Michael's disappearance, but those charges were later dropped. Stacy Wandra, her then husband, and another neighbor lived not far from the Vaughan home and was named as a suspect. October 31st, 2025, Payette County authorities formally charged Stacy Wandra with first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, and obstruction of evidence in a case of Michael's disappearance and presumed death, even though Michael's remains have not been recovered. Stacy Wandra is currently in custody, previously held in Arizona on unrelated charges, and has been extradited back to Idaho to face these charges. So I think now what we're going to do is we're going to watch Stacy Wandra after he's arrested, confessing to his participation in the murder. But before we do that, here are a couple photographs that were taken of the home when they were searching it to kind of give you an idea.
I just saw papers all throughout the house.
No, that's said it's not ringing on his end. What's your work cell number?
Okay, so Stacy Wandra has already confessed. And if you're wondering who that is, that's that fat piece of shit there at the bottom right. Him and his wife right above him. He says that they kidnapped the young boy because they wanted to sell him. I mean, think about how sick that is. This young, beautiful young boy. So he's confessed that they buried him in the backyard, that it wasn't him, that it was his wife and these other two that buried the boy. But he also told law enforcement that it's possible that they moved him. So right now, he has just confessed, and they have all this equipment on scene right now. And that's what these photographs represent. A lot of heavy machinery. We kind of speed it up a little bit.
Okay. What's the other number?
Ask him if it's ringing on his end.
Yep. That's exactly
No,
correct,
fix it.
Stefan.
Oh, no.
Hello?
Hey, we're trying to make it go through.
All right, bye.
Okay.
It
Says it can't receive video calls right now.
Are you on? Are you?
All right,
is
boss,
the
I'll
number
see you
that
in a
just
little
got
bit.
dialed, is that an iPhone?
No. How are you?
I'm here.
There he is right there, Stacy.
Feeling okay today?
I'm tired, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that you will help me a little bit more. I'm over here. I'm in your home.
Okay.
So I need a little bit more direction about where Michael is at.
Go out the back door, or
Okay?
I can't. Can you turn the camera around so I can show you?
We're flipping around right now. Stand by.
All right, here.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm going out the kitchen door.
And that's some equipment.
That is some equipment. Okay,
So
where
this is
do I
what
need
he's
to
talking
go?
about
Okay, face to the right,
when he says that.
like right where the dirt piles are.
Right where the dirt piles are. About how far off of the fence?
Uh,
Go ahead, sir. Okay, go over there and you point us to where it needs to be.
okay. Now keep going out a little further.
Keep going out a little further. You're gonna have to climb that mound.
It's like right under that mound area.
It's
A little like right to the right of the trees area.
to the
So
right
this is
of
where
the
they're
tree.
searching right here.
Yeah,
Okay,
a little
So-
bit. Where
Can you
the
see?
So-
okay, where at now?
now he's off the dirt mound. It's like underneath the dirt mound area.
Is about where he's standing?
Yeah, a little bit less, like closer to the house.
Come closer to the house?
Yeah.
And what is he wrapped in?
He should be. I mean, it should be a garbage bag.
Okay, what color is the garbage bag?
It would either be white or black. We only had two colors.
I want you to direct him from the fence where that orange thing in his hand is. Where do we need to stop it?
Right about there.
Right about there. Okay. All right. For us, Stacy?
I mean, like I said, that's where he was buried.
Okay.
That's the last place I've known. Again, haven't been home for quite a while, and a lot of shit. You know what I mean? So the only other place I would say, if he's not in that backyard, is go to Cuna to Brandon's house and check in the backyard by the tree area.
Okay, well, we're gonna finish here first, and then we'll
Finally.
cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay.
So does he need to go right or left? Or where else?
That general area, that bucket's enough to dig, but you're gonna want to start digging underneath the dirt piles.
Okay. How
I
far
think he
down
knows
is
that
Michael?
they've moved the body.
I don't know how far she actually dug, to be honest with you.
About. Give me an estimate.
I mean, maybe 4.
Well, let's go to Steph real quick. Monkey's mom almost died a few months back. Just had a liver transplant. Pray for her. All right, we'll pray for her.
5 feet.
She seems like a very sweet
4 or
woman.
5 feet? 4 or 5 feet, that's probably taller than me.
Like I said, you asked for an estimate. I'm giving you what I mean.
Definitely
it's
moved
probably
him.
shorter than that. I don't have an exact idea.
Jari.
Okay, when she dug the hole, was she standing in the hole?
She's standing outside of it.
Okay, and was she using a regular shovel?
I think it was a bull nose, or what do you call them, pointed ones.
Okay, and did the shovel, was she
Allegedly,
able to
yeah.
stand on the outside of the ground and the shovel able to reach the bottom of the hole?
Yes.
Fishy.
Okay, about how
Yeah,
far
exactly.
down was
Like,
the shovel
yeah,
in
it
the hole?
does. Could
I
be
don't
his
know,
brother.
I'd say, like 3 feet. I don't have an exact, measurement, like to give you. I mean, I didn't pay attention that far.
That's okay. Okay, we will try where you suggested, and I will call you back. Okay, Stacy?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait here. Wait here or what?
If they call us back, we'll come back.
Yeah. But I'll give you my word that I'll go talk to him right now and see. So basically, all you want to do is
I want
talk
to
to
talk to
mom.
my
right?
mommy.
Call my mom. I have minutes on her side.
Okay.
So
All right. Looks like we're going to have to cut this one short tonight, you guys. So we'll go ahead and follow up on a part 2 on this one. If you are part of the replay crew, let me know what you think about what we were able to present today. But I need to take care of something real quick. I might catch up with you guys a little bit later tonight. Maybe it's almost 9 here. Maybe 10 o'clock we'll go live again. Sorry about the short stream. Typically, these are going to be about 2 hours long, but it is what it is. Let me know what you think about Monkey's case and where you think what they may have done with him. They haven't found his body, and that's going to make any criminal case, especially a murder case, when it comes to prosecuting. So big shout out to Steph, Fishy, Jari, Boston, Jari and Jerry, CJK, and everybody else that I might have missed. Hydro. But I got to run and take care of a few things. Other than that, I'll catch you guys hopefully a little bit later. If not, I have something lined up for tomorrow. Maybe late. We'll call it brunch. I'll see you guys at brunch. Peace.